today on 15 on 15.
Police officers patrolled fireworks stations to ensure they complied to the rules and regulations when selling the product. Plus, we'll tell you what digital eye strain is and why you are likely to develop the condition. And Yentl Lieuw expands its portfolio into Brazil. Thank you for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. The fireworks season is officially over. We have an update on the incidents as well as sales of klapji. According to the police officers who supervised the vendors selling the fireworks, says the season went well. There were no fatal accidents with the involvement of fireworks over the holiday season. Authorities visited the venues that sold the fireworks to ensure they complied to various rules regarding selling fireworks. Instructions were given out to vendors to adhere to prior to the season. Cleanliness and not smoking around the fireworks are some of the regulations. In total, 26 containers of fireworks arrived on the island. An estimated 19 to 20 containers were sold. Plenty of fireworks were sold, but also there's plenty of it left over. Therefore, merchants are advised to not buy as much next year. There were more than 70 permits issued for vendors to sell fireworks, but only an estimated 60 permits were used. A milestone was reached on Wednesday. The lighthouse on the island celebrated 100 years. In commemoration of this, a restoration is pending for the monument. The lighthouse on Aruba is a tourist attraction as well as a precious monument to the community of Aruba. It is part of the island's identity and culture. The lighthouse has been in existence for 100 years and is pending a facelift. The restoration project has received a fair financing offered at a low interest rate. The plan is to start the drawings in 3 months. Once finished, the bid for the construction will start. The plan is to finish the restoration of the lighthouse by December of this year. It is estimated that if the lighthouse receives 80 visitors a day and each person is charged $5 for going into the lighthouse, the financing for the restoration can be paid off. Volunteering is not on everyone's list of priorities, unfortunately, mainly due to the fact people simply can't or don't want to find time. Besides for Aruba Doot, the largest volunteering action, Sede Aruba will be working on a more structural plan to allow more members of the community to lend their time.
I think it's not about forgetting. I think it's about finding the space and finding what is really the contribution that you would like to do. I think that a lot of people don't know all the organizations. They don't really have a place to go to see what is needed.
Asking people to volunteer is a tough job in and of itself. Reason being why Sede Aruba is working on creating a structural volunteering plan in hopes of attracting more people to lend their hands and time. Flexibility is key here.
That's why we're also working right now on a structural project. So after Aruba Doot, we will come back on that one because we see there are a lot of more possibilities. But you need more flexible volunteers. In former times, it was all about giving a lot of hours to the same organization, giving a lot of time, and the modern person, the modern family is not able to do that anymore. So what you need is more flexible volunteers, and that's what we're working on to support the organizations in order to make the connection between organization and the volunteers.
Now, speaking of Aruba Doot and volunteering, you got to lead by example. Last year in March, Prime Minister Mike Amon, together with the Minister of Infrastructure, Benny Zevinger, rolled up their sleeves to take part in Aruba's biggest volunteering action. Prime Minister Amon and Minister Zevinger ventured to Sonrisa last year in Pavia. Sonrisa is a foundation for children with special needs. Sonrisa was one of the many organizations asking for volunteering assistance from the community during Aruba Doot. The Prime Minister saw that Sonrisa was in need of infrastructure changes, so a portion of the building was rebuilt along with a fresh paint job and new window frames were changed. Additionally, a clubhouse was built from scratch on the other side of the road of Sonrisa. The clubhouse was made from wood. The materials were donated by various hardware stores on the island. Many volunteers lent their hands and time to help, including Minister Zevinger. He provided the drawings for the clubhouse. Aruba Doet fits the vision of the Prime Minister since it reinforces communitarianism. And on that positive note, we will be right back. Stay with us. When we return, crickets are profitable and healthy. Details coming up. Thanks for staying tuned to 15 on 15 and welcome back from the break. Your texting habit isn't doing your eyes any favors. Between your work computer, e-reader, TV, and smartphone, we are racking up a good amount of screen time. If it's as little as 2 hours, you are already setting yourself up for digital eye strain. What's that, you ask? Well, here's an explanation. Digital eye strain is the achy, tired feeling in your eyes that occurs after a stretch of screen viewing, which leads to redness, tension, and even shoulder and head pain. Researchers found that 93% of us are at risk for digital eye strain. The condition is that feeling of finally looking up from the screen and everything is blurry, or how bloodshot your eyes get after lots of time staring at your laptop or phone. Researchers say when we look at a screen, we blink less often than if we're looking around a room or reading a book, and that makes our eyes dry and increases strain. The other problem is it is hard for the eye to focus on the screen because the screen is sloped. It doesn't help that the small print and pixelated images on tablets and phones can be ridiculously tiny, leaving you squinting. On top of all of that, the blue light emitted from screens may have a detrimental effect on eye health as well. Experts suggest taking regular screen breaks. Every 10 to 20 minutes, get in the habit of looking up from the screen and finding a distant object to focus on, which gets you back to a normal blinking pattern and restores moisture. And in the world of social media, Facebook is launching a new app that aims to expand the U.S. firm's presence within companies and other places of work. The software is designed to provide a way for users to communicate as well as an alternative to email and other systems. The firm says information posted within the service is kept secure, confidential, and completely separate from personal Facebook profiles. This is direct competition to LinkedIn. Facebook's move also threatens other established collaboration tools targeted at businesses, including Yammer, which Microsoft bought for $1.2 billion in 2012. Now, Facebook already has about 1.4 billion people using its platform at least once a month, but it is currently blocked in some workplaces. In a statement, the social network says Facebook at work is a separate experience that gives employees the ability to connect and collaborate efficiently using Facebook tools, many that they're likely already using, such as news feeds, groups, messages, and events. For those who are protein obsessed, you may want to venture onto the realm of insects to get that energy and nutrition that you need. Introducing EXO, an energy bar made with cricket flour. 6 legs, 2 antennas, and serious business potential. 2 young men have put these crawlers in a blender and made a flour out of it to make protein bars. Each of the EXO energy bars contains 40 crickets. The idea was first sold on Kickstarter. Now the protein bars are in health food stores. The bars are certainly high in protein, but there's still that psychological barrier people have about eating insects. The makers say cricket flour is nutritionally superior to other protein bars. Crickets have more iron than beef, almost as much calcium as milk, and is very high in omega fatty 3 acids. It is completely natural, meaning no artificial processing is needed. Crickets are profitable because they require virtually no space, feed, or water. Eating insects is, of course, not a new idea. Over 80% of the countries around the world eat insects. The one area where they don't is in the Western world. So maybe we need to modernize the way we think. Let's take a very quick break. This is what's coming up next. After the break, we take a look at the monument on Oranjestraat 28. Earlier on in the show, we recognized the lighthouse celebrating its 100 years. Let's take a moment to get to know a different monument on our island, Oranjestraat 28. Oranjestraat 28 was built in 1910 in the Yentl Merchants Quarter. When a second floor was built in 1932, it was decorated with Latin American neo-Baroque motifs. An emblem featuring the symbols of faith, hope, and love adorns the center of the cornice. Latin American neo-Baroque is derived from houses built after 1880 by Spanish immigrants in large cities in Colombia and Venezuela. They feature elegantly carved woodwork, rounded arch windows, and opulent decorative elements such as balusters and crests. From 1920, this architectural style became commonplace on Aruba. The houses were mainly built on the western side of Wilhelminastraat, Oranjestraat, Steenweg, and Calle Petite Cruz, as well as the area became a distinguished merchants' quarter. Many of the buildings in the neighborhood are former consulates. In aviation news, Yentl Air has expanded its portfolio. The airline now operates 2 weekly flights from Aruba to Manaus, Brazil. Tourism stakeholders, dignitaries, and press received a warm welcome in Manaus, Brazil upon Yentl Air's inaugural arrival on Wednesday. Manaus is Yentl Air's 20th destination. This goes in line with the government's Europe Meets the Americas vision. Passengers from other destinations can conveniently travel via Yentl Air's hubs on Aruba or Curacao to Manaus. Besides for samba, Manaus is internationally known for its ecotourism, which is on board with the island's sustainability goals. Manaus is located in a remote location in the northern part of Brazil. It can only be reached by plane or boat. Due to its isolated character, much of its beautiful nature and original culture has been preserved, therefore known for its ecotourism. Manaus was home to the FIFA World Cup 2014, and because of that, the city has built a complete new airport, as you can see here. The infrastructure has been improved, and mobile internet has been implemented to improve communications. Yentl Air is currently offering introductory fares, so be sure to take advantage of that. That is all the time we have for now. Thank you for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow night with brand new topics, so be sure to join us at 7:15 p.m. right here on Channel 15 ATV. We will see you then.